Hi guys, pleased to meet you at this beautiful Light Bearer Summit. Thank you, Zaza, for allowing me to speak here. It's just an amazing, amazing thing that you get to work with all the speakers. So today I am speaking about bridging the gap, communicating with others. And this is where we will be discussing understanding the multidimensional nature of existence, techniques of communicating with beings with other realms. I absolutely love working with the other dimensional beings, and developing psychic and mediumship abilities. Now I'll just be touching on this, where we'll be exploring different methods of spiritual communication and ethical considerations and boundaries in the planner communication. For all the people that don't know me, I'm Varney. I'm a spiritual teacher, author, and podcaster. I am CEO of Spiritual Awakening Academy, and I also have beautiful spiritual programs that is called Spiritual Alchemist, and also the Spiritual Abundance Creator, where we do really connect powerfully with the other dimensional beings and the other dimensions and what have you. So I have a wealth of experience, but I'm just really going to touch on this for you today, and hopefully you'll get as much inspiration from this, and hopefully if you haven't connected yet, you will connect by the end of this talk. So without further ado, let's go, shall we? So understanding the multidimensional nature of existence. Have you ever wondered about the existence of other realms beyond our physical world? I know when I connected and started connecting to these realms, life started to really change for me in a beautiful way. I always remember I would try and manifest something, and I would come up with blocks, and things would just stop me from doing it. And when I learned how I learned, my spirit team actually showed me how to connect to these other dimensions, or my soul would even know how to go into other planetary and connect there also, other planets and what have you. And they were powerful, very, very powerful. But the concept of the multidimensional existence really does suggest that there's different planes or dimensions of reality that coexist alongside our own. And they really do. These dimensions are said to be inhabited by various beings, including your spirit guides, your angels, entities from different realms, Palladians, Arcturians, starseeds. There's a whole realm of multidimensional beings, of the positive and the negative. It's all experience. Always remember that. Don't think, oh, there's a good, there's a bad, there's an ugly. You have to have yin and yang wherever you go. And understanding the multidimensional nature of existence opens up a world of possibilities for spiritual growth and communication. So what are the dimensions? How can I explain those dimensions so that you understand them? So dimensions can really be thought of as different layers, and that's how I access the dimensions. I see different layers of reality, or levels of reality, that exist simultaneously. And while we primarily experience the physical dimension, there are believed to be higher vibrational dimensions that exist beyond even our perception. Each dimension may have its own unique characteristics, its laws, its inhabitants. The so many different dimensions, and different feelings and textures as you go in. Some of these dimensions could feel quite dense. Some of the dimensions can feel very light, and sparkly, and what have you. So and I'm just coming from my point of view and some of my students' point of view, who have says to me what they experience in the other dimensions. So you will have your own experience of when you go into the different dimensions, because everybody's different, and everybody connects different ways, with your superpowers and what have you. That's for another talk, though. So the astral dimension is one that's frequently mentioned. The dimension is the astral dimension. And this is often described as a realm of pure energy or consciousness, which is interconnected with the physical world. You know, it's believed to be inhabited by beings such as astral guides or your deceased individuals, people who've crossed over, who've transitioned from the physical plane. And if you can really look at all the different astral dimensions that are out there, you know, and I really think that the astral dimension, that in itself is another talk, you know, it really is. And it's a vibrational energy that really is placed behind the material existence. And this is the astral world, is where your soul goes after death of the physical body. You know, to give you a prime example of this, and my father just died in March, and I feel I was very blessed to be, even though it was brutal, it was a brutal death that he went through, a very painful death, and what have you, even the ending of his life. There was such beauty in that brutality as well. And I could tell when his soul crossed over to that astral world, and yet his body was still alive. You know, it was very interesting for me, and not only was it interesting in the way that I was doing some karmic. It was actually Zaza that actually sent me a message. Says, I don't even think she knows this. It was Zaza that sent me a message saying, "Anne, there's something karmic that you're holding on to, hence why your father can't leave this earth plane." And I actually thought, right, I'll go in because I know what to do to release those karmic bonds. And what I seen was us both holding opposite hands with a leather cuff that we had these ties around our hands. And as I was asking, you know, what is it that I needed to learn and what did he need to learn in order for those ties to release? And 3 times I had to go in to do it, you know, because I just couldn't get the message, the lesson. And once I did get that message, and it was for forgiveness on both sides, and I had to see, because I had quite a tough upbringing, we'll say, and but there was lots and lots of lessons in there. And it's very interesting as well. And this is maybe going off tangent here just a wee bit, but just to give you an idea of how powerful releasing those karmic ties are, is as soon as I seen the energetic bounds coming, be freeing from each of us, that we were able to come apart, and what happened is my dad would, you know, it was, as I say, it was brutal, and he would have a period of maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes of he would just be unconscious, and then he would come back and do what was happening. And basically, it was an unconscious time as I was doing this, so hence why I was able to do it. And at the second that those ties unbound, he actually shot up and shouted, "Anne, your mother is here for you." And at that, I could feel this unconditional love energy from the astral dimension of that really got me right in the heart, to the point that just tears. And usually when you touch that unconditional, that astral dimension, and you touch the energy in there, it is like energy that you cannot explain. You just cannot explain in the human world, because we have nothing like it. It is unconditional love. And it's very interesting to me, because my mother bloody hated him. Oh, she hated him with a passion. So it just shows you, when you go over to that astral dimension, that you really, that, you know, love and hate is a very fine line, and there's no such thing as hate. It's just lessons. So just remember that, you know, as you go through into that astral plane. And that's a beautiful example that I can give you for that, you know, that astral dimension. And then we've got the higher dimensions and their capabilities. And beyond the astral dimension, these are they're really higher dimensions that are said to process even more advanced consciousness and abilities. While it may be challenging to comprehend the full scope of these dimensions, it really is intriguing to explore the capabilities that the higher dimensional beings might possess. You know, if you're curious about the capabilities of the seventh dimensional beings, you know, that you really have where the Palladians and the Arcturians and the star seeds, you know, they go from 7-dimensional up into the 12th dimension, I believe, and actually further than that, you know. And I've worked quite extensively with Palladians and Arcturians, and I've taken my suit and the starseed. You know, they all have different energies when you're working with them, and that's how you know who they are there. Of those energies with of the 7th dimension up, and usually how I see this when you're shifting in, you're using those other dimensional beings, and you're having them not using them, but you're having them helping you in this world, because they are here to help, you know. And when you really do connect at a soul level, you know, not on ego level or a head level, a soul level, your consciousness expands like nothing before. It's very a powerful energy that they can really help you with. And to give you an idea of that, I remember having a client who was a young girl who had severe anxiety, and her family just didn't know what to do with. She had a very judgmental family who were very closed. They did not believe in spirituality at all. I'm not talking about religious here, I'm talking about spirituality, because it's a different thing. And they did not believe. They were very close, black and white, you know. Anybody, I mean, the kind that you know, there's a lot of illness within the family because of this very closed concept of life, you know. And so she had severe anxiety of when she came to see me. And what I realized instantly, because I'd connected to her energy, was she was a very gifted soul. You know, she had a lot of superpowers. You know, her clairs were intact, but she was running away from them. She was hiding from them. And whenever I got her to connect to these energies, there was a Palladian who I work with. Even now, I work with this Palladian, and I could see it so clearly. And I was able to work through her of how she needed to connect to these other dimensional beings, you know, the Palladians that was all around her. And this girl completely transformed before my eyes. And our mother had actually said to me, I don't know what you did or what you've done, but you've brought my daughter back to me. She's I've never seen her so happy looking, and it's because she was able to connect to those dimensional beings that were you know, trying to get in contact with her, but she kept pushing it away. But I was also able to protect her energy, so it made her feel safe before she was able to connect. So she had clear connection to her own soul before she was able to connect it, and it really did help massively. So it's all around you guys. It really is all around you, where you, especially if you're feeling you know, you've got a fear of connecting to that energy. There is nothing to fear as long as you have you know, you're going in with clear intent, with positive intent, and to get a clear connection. And shifting your consciousness to higher dimensions, you've got to shift your vibration, you know, for that transformative experience that expands our understanding of reality. Because it really does involve raising our vibration, becoming more attuned to the frequencies of these higher realms. If you're in, if you're going about and you're in the vibration of you blame everybody for everything that goes on in your life, you don't take any responsibility for what is actually going on in your life. You know, you're the victim. Everything just always happens to you. If you're in that vibration, you will find it very, very difficult, if at all, to connect and establish those connections to those other dimensional beings and receive guidance from them and from even your spirit guides, you know. So for guidance on shifting that consciousness to higher dimensions, you really need to have some techniques for communicating with those other dimensional beings from the other realms, you know. And once we grasp the concept of multidimensional existence, the next step is really to explore the techniques for communicating with those beings, you know, from the other realms, and remembering, because believe it or not, before you came here, you were doing all this, you know, you're just remembering and bridging those communication gaps between the planes. So psychic mediumship abilities is first and foremost, that to me is developing our psychic and mediumship abilities can really enhance our capability, our capacity and our capability to connect with the beings from the other realms. Psychic abilities enable us to perceive and interpret energy and information beyond the physical senses, you know. And while mediumship also allows communication with spirits and entities from those different dimensions, and I call it being the hollow bone, you know, that's a shamanic term of really allowing yourself to become that hollow bone. And what I mean by that is connecting to the heart space and allowing the energy to come through you, you know, so you can gain insights into developing that psychic and those mediumship abilities, that intuitive guidance where you can really tune into that. And if you need more advice about that, you want to know how to really do that, come over to the Spiritual Awakening Academy membership, where is really cheap. You know, just click the QR code, because it really does. We go deep into connecting with other dimensional beings and manifestation and energy healing and working with the angels, and we even have things about intuitive writing in your book, connecting to your superpowers. There's so much in there, meditations, everything like that, workbooks, courses, books, and even practitioner level things in there, all for £27 a month. It is going up though to 47 within the next month or so. So get in now while you can. And you can cancel at any time, by the way, guys. You really can. Another technique is automatic writing, which is a technique that really does enable us to receive messages from the higher dimensional beings or our spirit guides. If anybody's watching this and you'd really like to know about the automatic writing or learn or be connected to that, just send post a message here, a comment here, automatic, and I will send you a gift of a guided meditation for you to be able to connect to with automatic writing to receive those messages from the higher dimensional beings of our spirit guides. We haven't got long enough in this talk for me to do that with you, but please just connect, just comment below automatic, and I will send you that. And this is just allowing you to connect to that energy and freeing yourself up, so you allow the information to flow through you with a pen and onto paper. You can even do it on digital, but I always find it's easier with the paper than the pen. And this method allows you to really get direct information and written communication from beings from the other dimensional beings. Now, I am a dab hand at this. I used to get this and not even know what I was doing. I would just feel this vibration in my ear, which I was able, I'm going back many, many years when I was able to do this. I didn't even know about dimensional beings. I just did this. I didn't know what I was doing, but I would just get all this guided information. And it was very interesting. I actually found the book the other day because I'm moving and I'm traveling, selling up everything. I'm releasing all material goods, which is actually quite freeing. Actually, there has been attachments there, don't get me wrong, but it is quite freeing, of really living that new life and of a new chapter. And I found the book that I used to write in, and there are pages and pages and pages of automatic writing, and it's very interesting because the things I wrote about actually came true. So there's lots of information that's just around you, and they're trying to get through you, but you're not listening or you're not connecting. I could show you how. Yes. Also, another way is electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP, that a lot of people know. That's a method that actually captures the spirit voices and messages through audio recordings. Now, by recording your environment with minimal background noise and using sensitive microphones, you can potentially capture voices from the spirit realm that are not audible to the human ear. And I've actually witnessed this, when I've did recordings, not just even with the voice. I've actually seen it, the energies moving whilst I've had the recordings on. It's really fascinates me when I see that, and I've sometimes, when I've been connecting to the higher dimensional beings, and my outside world is showing me the planes. There was a video that I put up, oh God, maybe about a year ago or something like that. And that actually happened. I actually finished a really, really powerful technique with my students. And I actually went outside the door, and there's this big, huge white, and I get these feathers. I mean, even just last night, I got this beautiful feather that really I get from my spirit team lying on my pillowcase. And it was during the night, and I think it was about 3 a.m. in the morning. And I actually thought, I've just felt a feather, but I couldn't find it, because I was still half asleep. And I thought, oh, did it be daft? I really did feel feather. I've even had feathers being played. I've had my hand under a pillow, and I've actually could feel the vibration and the feathers being handed in my pillow from the spirit team. And I always know when it's from the spirit team because it's like a double feather that I get. I don't know if you can see that double feather. Yeah. And it's always like that. This is the one I got last night. Yeah. When I got up at 5:30, go to the gym, the first thing I did was look, where was that feather? And here it fell down the side of the bed, at the back of the bed. It's all around you, guys, all around you. Now, the ethical considerations and boundaries in the interplanal communication is, I find it fascinating. I find it exciting. It's really essential to approach the communication with ethical considerations, establish personal boundaries. And here's a few factors to really keep in mind, intention and respect. Always have intention and respect. I always say to my students, confidence with integrity. Always have confidence, because remember, most people who are on this path, is especially the spiritual path at this level that I'm at, and a lot of you are at as well, is we have a lot of judgment from our peers, our family. So we tend to, we're not confident. We don't allow ourselves to be confident, and we don't allow ourselves to have that integrity. However, if you show confidence and integrity, you will allow yourself to change their perception and have that intention and respect. Approach communication with beings from the other realms with pure intention and respect. Treat them as equals and acknowledge their wisdom and knowledge. Discernment and protection. Develop that ability to discern with the authenticity, the intentions of the beings you communicate with. Establish those personal energetic protection that practices to ensure your safety and well-being during those interactions. Consent and boundaries. Always know your boundaries, guys. Respect the consent and boundaries of the beings you encounter. Some of these beings may not even talk, but they're coming through you with someone's trying to phone me there. They're coming through you with just thought. They're just coming through, or just feeling. It really depends. Not all entities will be willing or able to communicate, so it's important to honor their choice. Always grounding and integration. I couldn't get that out there. After engaging with that interplanar communications, it's vital to ground yourself and integrate the experience of your everyday life. Balance your connection to the higher realms with your physical existence. The key. Confidence with integrity. Maintain your overall well-being, guys. So in conclusion, bridging the gap between different planes in existence opens a world of possibilities for spiritual growth and communication. Understand that multidimensional nature of existence lays the foundation of exploring techniques to connect with beings from other realms, such as developing your psychic, your mediumship abilities, you're experimenting with methods such as automatic writing, EVP, considering your ethical boundaries and your embarking on that communication, the journey and deeper of our own spiritual connections, and your connection to yourself. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. And again, I would love it if you come over to the Spiritual Awakening Academy. I think the VIPs, they've actually got full access to the Academy, which is a beautiful academy, a beautiful tribe. And if you have any frequently asked questions, please just put those comments down there. And some things I get asked is, can anyone communicate with beings from the other realms? Of course they can. Of course they can. Well, everyone has the potential to communicate. It requires practice, dedication, and a real willingness to explore and develop that psychic and mediumship ability. Another question I get asked is it safe? Is it safe? This is where your boundaries come in, your energetic protection practices, your grounding. You've got to help make sure you have those in place when you're connecting to the other dimension. Is there any risks involved? I get asked also, I always say you should do with caution. Don't go in there with an attitude of, okay, it'll be fine, you've got to be authentic with your intentions, and so that you're establishing those personal boundaries, that you protect yourself from those potential negative and harmful energies. Because remember, yin and yang, you've always got to have the dark and the light. It's just the way it is, but it's how you perceive it. And also, can you grow spiritually with the communication? Yes, of course you can. Think about it. You're deepening that energetic vibration. You're deepening your insights, your guidance, and your wisdom when you go into those higher dimensions. And a lot of people, students ask me, Anne, how do I integrate it into my everyday life? Ground, communicate, in confidence with integrity, reflect on the insights that you've gained and find practical ways to apply them to your personal growth and your spiritual journey. Thank you for listening, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please look out for my other talks where I'm channeling and connecting with spirit guides, and also the art of manifesting. Love, love, love. So much love coming from my heart to yours. I'm Anne Varney, and please enjoy the beautiful Light Bearers Summit. And thank you, Zaza, for having me. Goodbye.